That's the problem with the trades. They've all come from the point of view of having a screwdriver in their hands, and they don't want to set that screwdriver down. And so every time there's a problem in the field, they jump back in the field, and the business suffers because of that. If you get into that home and they've got a 10-year-old system, you're probably going to find something that needs attention. It's those details. And if you document everything, then you've got a chance to go back when something misfires, and it will, it's inevitable. You got a chance to say, well, did you follow the procedure? And normally what you'll find is, no, they didn't. I want to document and own my area around my business.
Welcome back. Another episode of the ShareWillow podcast. We have a special guest in the house today, Jim Hinshaw from Service Nation. Jim, thank you so much for joining us.
Man, it's my pleasure and my honor, Ryan. I appreciate you. And I saw some of the posts you were doing on Facebook after Pantheon, and I thought, yeah, that's a guy that's making things happen and doing some things. So I'm thrilled to be here.
I'm trying to make things happen. So thank you so much. I actually think, I don't know if you remember, I think I met you at Service World Expo in Orlando last year.
Good.
Wow. I gotta make a better impression if that's the memory.
No, I do remember you. Yeah, that's right. I do remember. Yeah.
I'm not buying it. Okay. So talk to me. Tell me about your background, and then what is Service Nation?
Good. Two good questions. So I started out as a factory rep for Train Company, spent about 15 years as a factory rep, ended up running the Train residential sales office in Phoenix, Arizona, back in this is probably late 70s, so 76, 77, 78, and really enjoyed that. That was a fun time of life. And we were blessed. We had over 50% market penetration, meaning over half the units sold, we sold them out of the warehouse right there in Phoenix, Arizona. We dominated that market. American Standard came in and bought the Train Company, and I think it was 84, 85, something like that. Just wasn't the same place to work anymore. And so I joined a mechanical contractor, Climate Control, became president of that company. They were sold to Jamaica Water and Power, a utility out of New York. And they bought 3 mechanical contractors the same year, lost the ability to bond the job, and ended up washed up on the beach, belly up. So I bought a small company, grew it, stayed with that a couple of years. Then I took about 6 months off, and I'm at a Linux meeting, actually. And I was talking to a good friend of mine, Jim Donnelly, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm looking for my great next adventure." And he said, "I'd love to have you."
When was this? Just so I know time frame. Okay, we're in 1990 now. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
So I came in as VP of Sales and Installations, and at that time, Jim was doing about $1 million a year, fairly young company.
And sorry, just so I understand too. So it was just like a service and installation company, right?
Exactly.
Residential.
No new construction, all residential service and replacement.
Beautiful. Okay, $1 million a year. So Jim comes in, so he recruits you at $1 million a year.
Yep.
Around 1990.
Yep.
Take us where we go from here.
So we grew that company. They were pioneers in terms of maintenance agreements, and so they started out selling maintenance agreements back in the day. This is early 90s, and we sold high efficiency, high technology. And so by 1999, we'd grown it to about $6 million a year. And Ryan, this was back in the day. I know you'll talk to guys today going, "Oh, 20 million is a good number now." Well, let me tell you, 6 million in the 90s was a good number. And we had 6,000 maintenance agreements, so we paced it almost exactly. Every 1,000 maintenance agreements, you got another $1 million in revenue. So we did that. In 1999, I went to Jim Donnelly and said, "Hey, I want to be a partner." And he said, "I got 3 sons, don't have any partners." So I left and started my own consulting business, Sales Improvement Professionals Incorporated, SIP. There's still ghosts of that out there on the internet every now and then. And I'll talk to somebody and they say, "Oh, yeah, I was in your class, blah, 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 blah." So yeah, I did that for 20 years. Uh,
SIP. You did
2019,
SIP for 20 years. So from
20 years,
99 to 19. Is that math right?
2019.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
And talk to me. What was the scope of what you were doing? Were you just
Good.
consulting other
Good.
companies saying,
Good.
"Hey, I took from 1 million to 6 million and
No.
6,000 maintenance agreements. I can help you do the same." Or
Yep, exactly. And so we used mostly, I was doing sales training, and I put together a couple of programs. One of them was a Carrier Comfort College, a 4-day sales training class for technicians or comfort
Mhm.
consultants, either one. So I put that together, and we flew across the nation multiple times delivering that message. I also had programs for the staff. I had programs for territory managers. I had programs for factory reps. I had 15 different programs I did, so I could train almost anybody in the industry:
Mhm.
technicians, salespeople, office staff, and we had programs that went from 1 day to 4 days. Did that, enjoyed that. Uh, 2019, I'm in Fresno, California. I know exactly where I was. And the guy's thumping me in the chest. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do. I said, hey, back up. Remember this. Independent consultant. I'll tell you
Yeah.
what I'm going to do when I'm going to do it. And he says, nope, I own you. I bought you for the whole week. You're mine. And I said, wow, it turns out you don't. Tear up that invoice. I turned around and walked out. Called my wife. I said, I'm coming home. She goes, you get done early? I said, I got done with people telling me how to do stuff.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, here's a question for you. Are you married?
No.
You won't appreciate this fully, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I go home to talk to my wife. This is when I've been married 50 years, 50 years. You're not that old, right? So,
I'm not. No.
so she'd been running the house by herself for 20 years. I said, I'm here to help. About
Oh
2 months.
no, she
Yeah,
said,
that's right.
"Get back
Right.
out there."
You know exactly what happened. 2 months into it, she goes, hey, I love you and I married you for life, but not for lunch. Go ahead and get something to do outside the house. So I
You
called
know,
up Service Nation.
yeah,
Service
yeah, keep
Nation,
going.
and I was one of their first consultants in 2002 when they started up the program. And the Service Nation was founded to serve heat and air and plumbing companies in the trades that were ignored by everybody else. And what that means is for the smaller contractors. So if you're doing 8 or 10 million a year in business, well, you got the full attention of Train or Carrier, and it was
Yeah.
financial people helping you and everything else. But you do 1 million or 2 million or 3 million, you were under the radar. Nobody paid
Yep.
much attention to you. So that was our first concept. Service Nation is to serve the underserved portion of our industry.
Love
And
it.
yeah, we did that very well, very successfully. So I came in as vertical market manager HVAC. All that means is I was in charge of the HVAC guys, and that was in March of 2020. And then in 2023, I was named vice president of sales. That's what I do today.
What do you sell?
Consulting, best practices. So
Okay,
we're a
okay.
best practice company. Sorry, we're a best practice company. And what that means is the guy coming to your house to work on your furnace, he probably
Yep.
knows how to work on a furnace. Typically, he knows that because his dad worked on furnaces, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
passed down, right, generation to generation.
Yep.
And so what they don't get passed down is the business aspect. They know
Mhm.
how to fix an igniter on a furnace. They don't know how to read a P&L, look at a
Mhm.
balance sheet, all the things you need to do in business to really grow and scale a business. That's what we bring to the table. We bring to the table the details you need to know to run a business. That's what we do.
Um, h- how do you? So I don't know. Okay, if this isn't public, I'm not sure. Is it so? Like, what's the size? So do people subscribe? Is it like a membership
Yeah, yeah,
model?
it
Is
is.
Service
Yeah,
Nation a
yep,
business? It's not
yep,
like an organization, right? Or
yep.
association. It's like
It is.
it's a company, right?
Yep, exactly. We have incorporated, and so we're 3 levels of membership. You can start with the roundtable level, which is our entry level, and it's in every level we have rebates that you can apply for when you
Mhm.
buy the stuff that typically people need in the industry anyway, whether it's parts, supplies, software, you know, products of any kind, typically
Yeah.
we've got 140 rebate partners that can help fund that. So
Incredible.
the average guy at the roundtable level, it costs. Is it okay to say the numbers? I'll go ahead and say the numbers.
Me?
Yeah.
I want you to say the numbers. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Good.
gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna be asking you for all the numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. It's about $120 a month. Okay. And
For Service Nation membership for Roundtable.
roundtable level, first level. And I just pulled the numbers. The average guy at that level makes $2,700 a year in rebates. Okay. So you're trading $1,500 for $2,700. It's a good trade, right?
And just so I know, like, is it like off of like Service Titan and like QuickBooks and kind of like the stuff
Exactly.
that you're already using?
All that stuff.
ShareWillow in the future, things like that.
We'd love to. That'd be a positive thing.
For sure. Okay, so 120 a month,
Yep.
kind of entry level.
Yep. So then you have
what?
a second level called the advanced level, which has similar concepts. You get we have a resource hub where we've got thousands of pieces of collateral, everything from maintenance agreements to social media posts to letters of intent for an employee, anything you need to run a business, all available for you. And a download doesn't cost you anything. You can click on it, you can put your information on it, customize it,
And
print
what do
it
you call
out.
it? A resource library?
It's a huge resource library. So we've got that available to you. At the advanced level, what we add on is a once a month coaching call. We've got a coach, a member of ours, who has done what we tell you need to do to succeed, and he meets with you once a month with the other members.
Who are these coaches?
Well, the coaches, we got a total of 30 of them, and the coaches are people who have either been in the industry, scaled a business, sold a business, very successful, and are giving back by becoming a coach. Or they might be somebody who's still involved in their business, running a successful business. So
The reason I ask, one of our customers, an absolute perfect human being. This guy,
Okay.
Jim Hawk, Haak. He's
I
a
know
Service
Jim.
Nation, amazing, the best human being ever, right?
Yep.
So he actually invited us to this Service Nation roundtable. I don't know if he was. That's what I'm wondering. I don't know if he was hosting it. It was like some smaller group, but
Yeah.
the people that were in there were big. Like I'm talking like pretty big. Firstly,
Yeah.
he's a big boy. Like he's
Oh, yeah.
100 employees. And he had other big companies in there. So this wasn't the like man in a van kind of like
No.
that. Yeah.
No.
So what was that? Well, that
That's
was at a round. Yeah.
That's
What was
Black
that?
Hawk. Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah,
him.
Black.
One
Yeah.
of our members, great member. So that was an alliance meeting for the
Alliance.
highest level of membership. So that, and just to be candid, I'll give you the numbers. It's about $1,500 a month. The average member,
Wait, sorry. How much is it?
$1,500 a month.
Okay, so all right, so we started at 120 for intro for the 120 a month. Okay.
Yep.
So that gets you sort of like the 1,500 whatever.
And the advanced level, I skipped over that. It's $500
Yeah.
a month. Okay.
500 per month
Yeah.
is advanced, and that gets you the once why am I
Coaching.
jotting this down? Advanced level gets coaching, you get coaching, okay.
Yeah.
Once a month, and then now we got the
alliance. The alliance level, and that gets you not only coaching, but you get a once a week AB call, advisory board call, where you're going to have 5 or 6 other people similar in size to you, but not in your neighborhood, and you meet with them once a week, and you have a dashboard, and you share your financials, and you go, yeah, we were supposed to do, and so let's just pretend that you're on an AB call, and we just finished up September, right? And so somebody says, well, how'd you do, Ryan? How was your September for you? And you go, well, it was pretty good. It was, let's just pretend that you were trying to do 400,000 in September.
Yep.
And they go, well, what'd you do? Well, I did 380. Ryan, what our industry said. So they're going to ask you, why? Why didn't you do 400? And what our industry says is, oh, it was the weather, right? We blame the weather. What we tell you is you got to weatherproof your business. You got to be able to do the number that you've got in the budget number, because here's what I know clearly: the bank doesn't care about the weather. The bank wants their
Mm-hmm.
payment on that building and those trucks, right? Every month.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to go ahead and get the numbers put together. So that's the advisory board calls every week, and we talk about any sort of subject you want. You've got a mentor on there. The mentor is somebody who's either still in the business or has exited the business and sold out and cashed out and did a really good job. So now that's separate from a coach. The coaches, you can layer on a coach and hire a coach, any one of the 30 coaches in any area of business you want: sales, financial, culture, how to hire and train and fire and software, anything you want.
Yeah.
And you pay a separate fee for those. It depends on who you're looking at and who you're working with. But we rolled out our coaching program 2 years ago. Let me tell you, Ryan, we've got 60 members, 60 members using our coaching program right now. And it's
Wow.
been successful for the members, successful for us.
You know, it's interesting. Using 60 members using coaching program.
Yeah.
So at ShareWillow, I actually have a lot of people. So firstly, people come to us and they're like, what's everyone else doing? Right. Because they want to know how to create these plans. Just like, what should I do it if a guy, sells it but doesn't perform it? What should that kind of commission rate be if you perform it only, don't sell it? What's everyone else doing? But I also get a lot of people. For instance, I actually just made an intro today because I did a podcast earlier with a 40-employee exterior cleaning company, right? So it's not HVAC or anything, but
Good.
but I also have a 5-employee exterior cleaning company who had been asking me, hey, I want to talk to someone at the next level. And I was like, look, I talk to people all the time. As soon as I come across someone. So I texted him today and I was like, hey, Zach, I actually have a guy I'm talking to right now. And he's like, dude, I would love that intro. So I totally get it, because I think a lot of people are really trying to, hey, if I'm at 1, how do I get to 5? If I'm at 5, how do I get to 10? And you want to talk to the person at 10. And by the way, they're sharing tactics. Like I talked to this guy today and he's pretty heavy commercial, and he's talking about how then he's cross-selling to his commercial clients residential. Because guess what? If you have a business, you probably have a home, right? That you can, and you probably have a home. And if you get your windows cleaned at the office, you probably maybe want your windows cleaned at your home.
That's exactly right.
Things like that, and I think, anyway, I was just like, I could totally see your guys' value in that, because I talk to people all the time. Actually, someone else today was like, hey, I want to talk to this HVAC company. This HVAC company in Florida wants to talk to this HVAC company we work with in Rhode Island. Yep. Actually, all the time this happens. Yeah, I should formalize this in some way.
What we do, we formalized it. We do tours. And so I just did a tour last week of one of our members in Maryland, Roy White, fixed right.
Where in Maryland? I'm from Maryland.
He's in Owings
Mills.
Yeah, Owings Mills, Maryland. So we just went up there. He's going to hit 7 million this year. And he said what's exciting was when he first joined us 7 years ago, he was doing 700,000 at 1.3% net. Yeah, I know. This year he's going to do 7 million at 17% net.
Let's go. That's crazy. Yeah. Let's go.
So we do a tour, and we've got those tours set up all year round. We just did his last week. We had 11 contractors there, and it was excellent. He opened up the books. He told us how he's paying his people, everything else. We got a big one coming up in December with GSM. GSM is one of our members in Gaston, right outside of Charlotte. 260 employees.
Gastonia or Gaston?
Gastonia. It is Gastonia.
Gastonia.
Yeah. 48 million last year. 260 employees. Yeah. Big player. Does commercial, industrial, residential, everything. So he's got a great portfolio. So he's doing a tour of his place. And we're going to bolt that together with a tour of his place. And then the next 2 days, a success planning meeting where we share, hey, here's how you do success planning. You figure out where you want to be, figure out where you are now, what the delta is, how many people you got to add, how many trucks you got to buy, all the things you got to do. You put it down in writing, and you get an accountability partner. And so, yeah. So we do scale that.
So what? Okay. And I'm assuming you guys compete. What's the? There's like another company. They just said that they're not letting private equity. Is that a competitor to you
That's
guys?
Nexstar. Yeah, Nexstar.
Nexstar.
Yep.
That's like competitor, right?
They they do some of the same things we do. I don't call them a competitor, but
Okay.
they
Okay.
do some of the same things we do.
Yeah. Nexstar. Okay. Um, do you guys disclose your size? Like how many members you have?
I can tell you how many members we have across the world, 5,000.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Now, about 2,000 are actively involved with us on a regular
Okay.
basis. Okay.
Cool.
But if you're a member of ACA or PHCC, you're automatically entered into our membership at no cost, and you still get the rebates. So
Incredible. I
yeah,
actually just got a phone call from ACA
yeah,
today. So, okay, let's dive into some tactics.
yeah.
If I'm an HVAC business, HVAC, do you say HVAC or do you say HVAC?
Well, HVAC is easier to say. Yeah,
It is easier to say.
yeah,
Okay, if I'm an HVAC business
yep,
and I am at 3 million
yep,
and I want to go to 10 million
yep,
in 2 years.
yep,
If I'm at 3 million, I probably have like what 3 to 5 techs, maybe 5 techs, something like that.
yeah,
Um, what do I do? Let's say I'm mostly residential right now and I'm
yep,
in Charlotte, North Carolina.
yep.
What do I do?
So the first thing we would say, the first thing we do is look at the P&L to see what your numbers look like. Because in many cases, we're finding that they're spending and I want to know what the bottom line is. If the bottom line is not a double digit bottom line, we'll look at that first. So in many cases, they're spending too much money on labor, there's too much windshield time. And when they're 3 million, probably the owner is still running the place by himself. So our first course of action would say, hey, hire yourself either a service manager or production manager, depending on which is your strong suit. If you're doing a lot of service, needs to be a service manager. A lot of installs, needs to be an installation manager. So you, the owner, can step back and start working on the business. Ryan, that's the problem with the trades. They've all come from the point of view of having a screwdriver in their hands, and they don't want to set that screwdriver down. And so every time there's a problem in the field, they jump back in the field and the business suffers because of that. So the first thing we're going to say is you got to work on the business, not in the business. Hire somebody to take your place in the truck. That's the first thing. Then we're going
Um,
to talk. Go
I
ahead.
run into that problem. I want to get my hands dirty. I mean, I think, you know, you want to get your hands dirty. You want to solve it quickly. I think, I
Human
also,
nature.
by the way, human nature, I also was talking to someone today about this and like, I think you can muscle your way to a few million in revenue
Yeah.
with like out great systems. You can just
Yep.
relent, just muscle your way to it, but
Yep.
you cap out, right? Like you
You do.
can't kind of put the team on you can't put everything on your back after call it 3 million really.
Yeah, you're
You,
right.
you
There's
cap
a
out.
ceiling there. Yeah.
There's a ceiling and you could totally do it and it's like admirable and it's hard, but like you cap out. So
You burn out.
you burn out, you cap out, like you just
Yep.
can't do it. Like you're just
Yep.
maxed out at
Exactly.
capacity.
Yep.
Okay, so people. By the way, I also did an interview with this woman, Lacey Coleman of Coastal Comfort. She's doing 9 million now. She
Yep.
bought the business from her dad, who was kind of, from my understanding, one of those old school HVAC guys
Yeah. Yeah.
who like kind of didn't want to like grow and was just like
Right.
really like working and she's taken the business and grown it significantly. She's going to hit 20 million and she's going to sell
Perfect.
PE for 100 million.
Perfect. Yeah.
But anyway, she was saying one of the big unlocks for her was getting a GM. So not even just a service manager. It was like service
Yeah.
manager
Whatever.
and
Yeah.
then even a GM. And she's like, she's so unlocked right now, right?
Yeah.
She can like look at opportunities and
Yeah. Exactly.
like, yeah.
That's what you need. Yeah.
So anyway, I jumped in because I like hearing myself talk, which I'll try to do less of. But back
good.
to you.
You're good. So the other thing, the next 2 or 3 things, we believe in maintenance agreements. And we believe in maintenance agreements because that keeps your shoulder season. You got stuff for them to do. And
Mhm.
if you get into that home and they've got a 10-year-old system, you're probably going to find something that needs attention. Now,
Mhm.
I want to be clear. I'm not advocating selling them something they don't need. But any system that's probably over 5 years old. If you're in the South, it's been running for some time, and it probably needs some attention, at least a good cleaning. That can help tremendously. But you can find out some things, and then you talk to that homeowner about all the other stuff you can add: indoor air quality, UV lights, ion generators. I mean, zoning, all kinds of things
Yeah.
that they can spend some money on.
By the way, like I'm thinking back to like the Facebook ads, and you know how everyone's kind of jumping, oh, you guys are salesmen. It's like, firstly, it's not just salesmen, but here's another thing, by the way. Personally, if someone came to my apartment, I'm in New York, so it's like, I'm not like buying HVAC stuff, but like if someone came in and they were like, hey, I can help your air quality, like I feel like I wake up stuffy. Like I want to buy that. I'm not actively searching it, but if someone was there and is like, hey, we have this, and they show me some demo, I'm like, I'm in. Like I am willing to spend. I wake up dry every day. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's where I think like if you just give them options, and that's why Tommy Mello talks about it. He's like, give them the option, give them a good, better, best, show them. And by the way, another owner once said to me, it's like, hey, if you could have a premium air conditioner outside where it's so quiet, you're out there with the family having a barbecue, you're not hearing anything, or have the low end version, you know what I mean? So
exactly.
The options.
So what I would suggest is you do best, better, good. Start with the very best system first, then move down, because people instinctively buy between the first option and the second option. So if it's between best and better, that's where I want to be. So if you start with good, they're going to be buying between good and better, and that's a lower price ticket. And again, I'm not trying to sell them something they don't need, but I want them to know what's available, because today there's products out there that can help you health-wise incredibly well that weren't available 10 years ago, maybe not even 5 years ago. So yeah.
Okay, so
we believe in maintenance agreements.
So maintenance agreements, and by the way, just ballpark. So from my understanding, a maintenance agreement could be $300 a year. Or
200, anywhere in that range.
What's a way? Let's talk tactics now. How are you pitching this? Are you pitching this as a way to, hey, we'll come out, and that could prevent you from having to spend, potentially $1,000 on like a repair, right? It can prevent that. Like, what's the pitch? Give me the pitch.
Okay, so number one, I'd call it a club agreement. A club agreement. You want to stay away from service agreement, because that implies that you're going to do some service. And sometimes all you're doing is cleaning the unit thoroughly. I've got a 5-year-old system. My system doesn't need anything. It's doing just fine, but I still have them come out twice a year to clean it thoroughly, because that can affect the operation. The other reason for the maintenance agreement is, service agreement, whatever you want to call it, the club membership, is to catch a small problem before it turns into a big problem. Ryan, I like that. The outside unit has a condenser fan blade on it. A condenser fan blade can crack. Usually cracks right at the hub, somewhere between 5 years and 10 years. Well, it'll run for 2 or 3 years cracked, but one day, and you cannot predict when, it shatters, and that fan blade can end up ruining your condenser coil, which you go to buy a condenser coil from any manufacturer, they don't have them sitting in stock typically for units that are 7 or 8 years old. They got to make one. So it could take weeks to get that kind of a product. So that's what we talk about. Hey, here's how you present it. You present it as the right thing to do. You change the oil in your car. Ryan, do you drive a car? Do you have a car or a truck?
No. I don't. I live in New York. I don't even have a car.
You don't? Okay. Well, let's just pretend that you have a car.
Sorry, I'm like the worst example here. Yeah.
Yeah. The question I would ask, do you ever change the oil in that car? Yeah. Why? Well, number one, it's required for warranty if it's a newer car. But number two, I want to be sure it's going to run when I need it to run, right? Same thing's true with that heating and air conditioning system. You do some maintenance on it, just some cleaning and making sure it's ready to go. It can help prevent the big breakdown that costs a whole bunch of money. And what we suggest is you make it a monthly payment. Because you put a monthly payment together, let's just use your $300 a year payment. It's $25 a month. Well, let me tell you, if you get your MasterCard bill and you look at it, and it's $2,200, and you go, what the heck did I spend $2,200 on? You're looking for the $300 charges. You're not looking for the $25 charges. It's under the radar. So
It's lunch. It's
there's
lunch.
ways. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is anymore. Yeah.
It's an Uber Eats delivery. Actually less than
Yeah.
Uber Eats delivery now. Okay,
Yeah.
so if I want to grow from 3 to 10, first thing I'm gonna hire a service manager. So kind of get out of the weeds. Second thing,
Get out of the truck. Yep.
get out of the truck. Second thing is, so I've heard them called memberships, but you're saying maintenance agreements, or not?
Clubs,
Sorry, not maintenance
membership.
agreements, club agreements,
Club
memberships.
agreement. Yep.
What's next? So I'm gonna. Hopefully, I'm not queuing you up too much, right?
No.
And actually, I'm not going to queue you up. What's next?
So what we would suggest is documenting every single procedure that you do. So if you're doing service work in a home, write down and put it in writing where everybody can see it. Here's what you do when you go to the home. First, we confirm that call. We call them or send a text or an email and say, Eddie's coming to your home. He likes German Shepherd dogs. He's got 2 kids. You'll love him. He'll be there tomorrow morning. And so tomorrow morning, Eddie shows up. He walks up to the door. He knocks on the door, doesn't ring the doorbell, knocks on the door, backs up 6 feet. So you document every single step in that service call right up to when he leaves and asks for a referral and a positive review. And you do that for installations, you do that for service, you do that for the office. Had a lady come in, Daniel Putnam. She owns the new flat rate, okay? And she says she's documenting procedures. The one thing she did not document was the trash pickup, okay? It's the details, right, Ryan? And she came into the office one day, and the trash cans are all laying on their side with stuff dumped out because they set them too close to the road, and a car came by and hit them, knocked them over. So that was the next thing she documented. Hey, go ahead and make sure you're not on the edge of the pavement when you set the trash can out there. So, Ryan, it's those details. And if you document everything, then you've got a chance to go back when something misfires, and it will, it's inevitable. You got a chance to say, well, did you follow the procedure? And normally what you'll find is, no, they didn't. They took a shortcut. They didn't follow up. They didn't put on the booties. We just had technicians in here to do our work. Well, I've got an attic. They had to go up in the attic. I've got a stairway up to the attic, but it's all dusty up there. They came down out of the attic, walked right into the thermostat to make sure that it was set right. And I said, guys, did you forget about the booties? And they go, oh, no, they're in the truck. I said, they need to be on your feet. So it's having a procedure, it's having it documented and written out so everybody can understand exactly how we do this. And then that's how you train the employees. Here's what you do. As an installer, you do this and this and this and this. Then
that just reminded me, sorry, I just chatted to my head of ops. I was like, we should do custom foot booties for technicians as like welcome sort of
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Do you recommend, so a couple of things. Let's say, again, I'm at 3 million. I want to go to 10 million, right? So documentation and everything, maintenance agreements, hiring for the person. Do you recommend, increasing ad spend and all of that? So I have a couple questions. So it's like, do I go same area, same service? Do I go expand my service area, or do I try to go into other services, right, to cross-sell my existing customer base? Like, what now? So let's say I have the infrastructure, I got the training down, I got my service manager, I'm selling maintenance agreements. Am I penetrating my current market? Am I going out? Am I now selling, plumbing and other services? What do I do next?
Okay, so other services is a great way. If you've already got a background, you're doing $3 million a year in HVAC, you could add on plumbing. Ryan, it depends on your part of the country, where you are, what the codes are. Because if you go to Arizona, you've got a whole restriction on how you can add another service. You got to be in that business for a period of years before you can just add it. Now, if
Mm.
you're in Texas, what you can do is you can rent a license from another owner that's already a plumber. You pay him so much, he signs off on your work. It's got to be somebody you know and trust, but that's another way to do that. But going back to your first statement, I want to document and own my area around my business. I want to own my neighborhood, unless you're an industrial plant, okay? But if I'm in Flower Mound, that's the subdivision I live in. If I'm the Flower Mound guy, I want to own that market. And how do you do that? Well, you do that by advertising and marketing, but you do that by company and community involvement. You support the widows and orphans shelter that they have in Flower Mound. There's one right by the post office. You support addiction houses. You support veterinarian support. You do all kinds of things. First responders, you help them. And I'll guarantee you this, if you get into a first responder group and they're firemen, all of a sudden you're going to find everybody doing a lot of work for firemen because they all talk.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
do
that,
you recommend Facebook groups? I feel like a lot of these customers are on Facebook.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in a ton. I'm sure, you're in a ton as well.
I am too.
And
Yeah.
they're absolute, in my opinion, absolute gold mines. I
They
just
are.
think like everyone's there, everyone's on them. Yeah.
Here's what's interesting. You'll talk to a member, which I've done 50 times in the last year, and the guy will be maybe a guy that's, let's say it's 50 plus or just old school, okay? And he'll say, I hate Facebook. I don't care. The consumers hang out in Facebook. My wife and I look at Facebook. Before we hire somebody, we've done several things that we purchased over the years. We look at Facebook first to see who's doing it, and then we look at the reviews on Facebook to see if we can trust them when they come into the home. So that's what you got to do. You got to be involved in a community, and you got to give back. Sponsoring the Susan G. Komen Run for Life, whatever. Figure out a way to do it. The best example I have of that, Lou Habaika, Habaika Services. Do you know that name, Lou Habaika? Phoenix, Arizona.
Mm-mm.
Lou is second generation. His dad started the business, and I think right after World War II, 46, 47, something like that. Lou and his three brothers bought it in the late 70s. Dad retired, and so they expanded the business and moved it from HVAC. They do electrical, plumbing, they do connected home security systems, and they do walk-in wine coolers. Okay, walk-in wine coolers.
Wow.
They've done a wine cooler that's 3,700 square feet. Okay, I don't know if you're good with math, but that is a monster wine cooler, right? 3,700 square foot, bigger than most houses. Yeah. And what was in there was millions of dollars worth of wine. So the customer, it's a 36,000 square foot home, only used 2 months out of the year in Phoenix.
Wow.
So
yeah,
they thought nothing of putting in about $15,000 in putting in wine cooler systems. So they are known for that. They've done wine coolers as far away as Colorado. So you look at guys like that. Lou Habaika, his son Andy, who sold $6 million last year in residential replacement work, one at a time. No big complexes or anything. $6 million. He started a nonprofit called One Bag at a Time, and it happened because
I love that.
Yeah, it's excellent. So Andy is driving to work one day, and he's got his water bottles with him in the van, and there's a guy at the corner. It's a homeless guy, and he hands him a water bottle, and the guy thanked him and shook his hand and said, "You made my day." And so he thinks, "Wow,
That's awesome.
I could do that." So literally, this is probably I'm going to say 7-8 years ago now. He ends up telling his mom what a great idea that was. She goes, "Well, we'll make up some bags." So pretty soon he got a Cub Scout troop to help him fill bags with, what do they put in there? Baby wipes. They put in there some all kinds of snacks that can handle the heat, water bottles, They put in some small bars of soap, just all
Love
the
it.
things that you
Love
take
it.
for
Yeah,
granted.
yeah.
They now go down to a homeless area in Phoenix, Arizona, 12th Street and Roosevelt, and they'll have 2 or 3 thousand people lined up. They have a whole group that comes down there with them. They got a guy from Verizon that brings in 30 or 40 phones and says, call anybody you want, anywhere in the nation. Do it. Got a barber comes in, gives them a shave and a haircut right there. So and then clothes. They go to the Goodwill store. I think it's on Monday, where the clothes are marked down to $1 per clothing, and they'll spend $400 or $500 and walk out with all kinds of clothing. So they're doing an amazing job in the community, and they are known. And they peaked out at about 22 million. Lou sold out to a group out of California, stayed on as manager for another 2 years, grew it to 25 million. They're going to do even more this year. So they are just connected up once a
I love
month.
it.
They go down to 12th Street and Roosevelt, and they're known for that. You can see it one bag at a time. You can pull it up on Facebook, and you'll see. It's just amazing. So they're giving back. That's our message to the member that wants to grow from 3 million to 10 million. You got to be giving back,
I
because
love
the
it.
community respects that and does stuff by helping you build your business. They'll
Yeah.
appreciate you. So
Amazing. And I think that's, a good place to start to wrap up. I think, look, I've read this book, Unreasonable Hospitality. I'm sure you've heard of
I've read
it.
it.
I absolutely love it. And it's like, what can you do that makes the customer feel a certain way, right? And
Exactly.
every touch point, how can you make magical moments,
Yep.
right? And the
Yep.
even little stuff, they talk about in the
Yeah.
book, someone at this fancy restaurant in New York City said, oh, I never got to get a New York City hot dog. And they just like went out to a vendor and brought it to the table and sliced it and served it at this fancy restaurant. And it's
I
like
love it.
getting a dollar hot dog made that person's like trip, and it's memorable, and they put it in the book, and now I'm telling you about it. And it's like, what can you
Perfect.
do to go, above and beyond for your customers? Similar,
Yep.
like you were saying,
Yep.
whatever it is.
Exactly.
And I think those things
Yeah.
go such a long way, and like it helps you stand out, especially look as PEs coming into the trades and
Oh
everything's
yeah.
getting commoditized. You're not going to be able to outspend them. It's like, what can you do to like
You're
really
right.
create magical moments? Um,
And
Jim,
so my
thank you so
response to that
much.
is
Oh yeah. Sorry.
my
Go
my
ahead.
response to the PE coming in. You can't beat them
Yeah.
financially. They've got unlimited
Yeah.
resources, but you can
Yep.
get connected to the community and do the very best job you can. And and I want to be
Yep.
careful, because we have members that have sold out to PE and said it was a marvelous experience, and their company's still doing really well. So I'm not throwing them under the bus by any means. But what you can do as a solo entrepreneur is you can do you very well and build
Hmm.
a fort around. That's what Warren Buffett says, man, I want to buy products that have a fort around them where the competition can't get in. That's what I want.
Yep.
I'd be remiss if I
Um,
didn't mention Service World Expo coming up the end of October. That's in Las Vegas, 27th through the 30th. And Ryan, what we do different this year, we've done the expo. You were in Orlando, correct?
and I'll be in Vegas. Yes.
Okay, you're coming to Vegas as well. What you'll see that's different, in Orlando, we had breakout sessions that were typically 45 minutes to an hour. And if you were going to a breakout session on financing, we had a guy from Synchrony there, or maybe Good Leap, or one of the financing guys sharing, here's how you do financing. Now, what we've done, we've expanded those, and they're now an hour and a half workshop, and you'll have a guy from the trades telling you, here's how I do financing. And you
Hmm.
come to the expo. If you get there on Monday, you'll get to hear Andy Hobaika, the guy that did 6 million last year, do a
Yeah.
3-hour workshop on what he does different. It'll be amazing.
Amazing. Service World Expo, October 27th to 30th. Fly
Yep.
home and trick or treat with your kids right after that. Perfect.
Yep. And if you contact me, I'll give you a discount.
So do you guys put it on? You guys put on Service World Expo?
This is us. Yeah, you bet.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
our
the best
conference.
show we went to. That's where we met Jim Hawk and That was
Good.
like one of the
Good.
best conferences we went to. I talked to massive owners. The guy from
Yeah.
Goddle, the Goddle guys, 200 trucks. I
Gettle.
talked to
Gettle. Ken Goodrich.
Gettle.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
talk to him. I talked to like maybe his CFO actually, the guy.
Some of his people. Yeah.
Yeah, some of his people.
Well,
I talked to
Ken's
this
one
guy.
of our
70. Yeah.
Yeah, we got guys. Our biggest customer right now is about 350 million. Lee Company out of Tennessee. They're actually in 5 states, but 1,000
Wait, Lee's
technicians.
Air?
Lee's Air is in California. This is Lee Company in Tennessee.
Got it.
1,000 technicians.
That's
1
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to wrap up here. Jim Hinshaw, Service Nation, thank you so much for joining
Super.
us. This was incredible. I really appreciate all the time. I think people are going to be able to get a ton of value just from this, but also don't forget
Good.
to potentially look at, Service Nation. I think a lot of people are also can get value. I know a lot of our customers
That'd be
can. So
good.
the 120 a month intro level, the 500 a month advanced level with coaching, and then the 1,500 a
Good.
month alliance level,
Yep.
once a week advisory board call with 5 to 6 similar businesses your size, and you have a dashboard to share
There you
financials.
go. There you go.
Jim
Good,
Hinshaw,
good.
thank you so much for joining the ShareWillow podcast. And that's our episode.
Ryan, thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Of course.
Talk to you.